If you're looking for a game day experience, something like an awesome tailgate out in Oakland, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, wherever you want to get down with Raider Nation, I'm going to bring it to you guys. Make sure you're subscribed to the Raiders Report. We're going to be doing a party, a show. We're going to have the game side by side with me. And if that's something that you're interested in, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications because we're going to take down Dolphins today. And we're going to take down the Miami Dolphins here on YouTube. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Coming up here on today's show, I'm going to tell you 5 things that every single Raider fan needs to watch for in the Raiders' third preseason game up against the Miami Dolphins. On top of that, we're going to go through and look at what the spread is in terms of over-under, how many points the Raiders are favored by, and maybe at the end of the video I'll tell you who I got. So when you look at this game, I know it's the Raiders' third preseason game, but this is technically the second week of the NFL preseason. Dolphins come in 1-0, Raiders sitting there at 2-0, and every time I make a video like this, I get a whole bunch of trash Dolphin fans like Will Scott coming in my comments section, and they're like, spamming MIA. Well, how about this? Let's make them MIA. Get them out of my comments section. Spam LV because this is the Raiders Report, and even though this game is in the Miami Gardens or wherever the hell that place is, we're going to dominate there too. So seriously, spam LV down in the chat. Now, in terms of what am I watching for the Dolphins side of things, I'm always going to be looking at the quarterback room, right? Are we going to see Tua Tagovailoa out there? I hope so. What about Teddy Bridgewater? Skylar Thompson had himself a hell of a game last week, going 20 for 28, 218 yards and a touchdown. He actually showed some pretty halfway decent athletic ability. I do not anticipate that you see Tyreek Hill out on the field, though I would love to see how some of our cornerbacks do end up matching up against him. So in terms of the silver and black, because let's face it, that's why we're here, things that I'm going to be watching for. The right tackle battle. I will make note that Thayer Munford did leave practice today on Wednesday. He said, the reports were that he's going to be okay. It doesn't look like it's going to be anything major. But the fact that Brandon Parker's not going to be playing this season, the fact that Alex Leatherwood didn't play a single snap in the first half, my eyes are going to be locked and loaded, obviously, into the entire offensive line, but especially that right tackle battle. What if Leatherwood starts playing a lot better? What if Munford, who it sounded like did a halfway decent job against Maxx Crosby on practice on Wednesday, I really, truly believe you are starting to see a lot more of an open competition at the right tackle spot. But I also want you to look at Lester Cotton. I want you to look at Andre James, John Simpson, Dylan Parham. A lot of little moving pieces on that offensive line. Let's talk about the top DTs. And when I look at the top defensive tackles out there on this team, I've always said that it's Johnathan Hankins, it's Bilal, Nichols. And luckily, both of those players were activated this week for the Las Vegas Raiders. However, when you look at some past preseason football games for the Raiders, it's been Andrew Billings, Tyler Lancaster, who looks like he could cut your grass at any moment, and then Kyle Pecco. Those have been your top 3 players in terms of the defensive tackles. I also know this. Obviously, the Raiders drafted Matthew Butler. The Raiders drafted Neil Farrell Jr. I'm not 100% sure if they keep 6 DTs on this team, but you're really going to start to see now the fact that Hankins and Nichols are back. It is still yet to be decided whether or not they are going to play at the time I am making this video. And if they go out there, I want to see how they compare to some of these other defensive tackles on the Raiders team, because I will say it once, I've said it twice, I've said it 100 times. You need to add extra talent at the defensive tackle position. So with this game here, it's kind of funny. The first Raiders preseason game, the over-under was set at 30.5 points. The second game was set at 34.5 points, did go up to 37.5. This is probably the highest preseason over-under I've ever seen at 41.5 points. Las Vegas is a 2-point favorite despite being on the road. I just think they don't know what McDaniels is going to do, and since McDaniels has been throwing out some of his starters, this could be another pretty solid game for both teams. But you got the battle of McDaniels up against the battle of McDaniel, and all I want to know is this. Every time that we watch the preseason game, personally for me, I'm always putting some money down. So how about this, y'all? Predict the score. You just saw Raiders 2-point favorites. The over-under is set at 41.5 points. If you're spamming LV earlier in the chat, like I asked you guys to, Well, how about you be an overachiever and predict the score? And if you're sitting here like, you know what, man, I'm repping with the silver and black, then go put your money where your mouth is, y'all. If you put $5, $10, $15, I don't care if it's a preseason game, I don't care what it is, you're going to be a lot more entertained in that game. And that's personally what I like to do for preseason football. So literally with the deal that we're hooking you up with here from BetUS, I like to say you got nothing to lose, but you're getting $125 free dollars to bet with. Yeah. $125 free dollars to bet with. How? You got to go to the link down there below. If you don't go to that link that you see down there below, chatsports.com/Raiders, you're not getting the promo, or you're not getting the 125% deposit bonus. Use code Raiders125. Heck, if you want to be a big baller, you can put down actually up to $500, get $625 for free to bet with. Sounds like a pretty damn good deal to me. So if you're confident in the Raiders, and if you want to bet on them the entire season, we're going to be doing this deal the entire year. So chatsports.com/Raiders, promo code Raiders125. Let's now look at the quarterback battle. The NFL Hall of Fame game. That game went to Jarrett Stidham. The second preseason game up against the Minnesota Vikings. That game went to Nick Mullins. I will flat out say, Chase Garbers, sorry, you're not in the running here. We know Derek's going to be the number one. With all the other pieces that this team has in terms of defense, I am curious if they decide to just keep two quarterbacks. Stidham, from what I've seen thus far, has the better understanding of the offense, though doesn't always trust his arm. I think it's why he's trying to run the ball so much. And then Nick Mullins did struggle the first week, but had a pretty solid bounce-back week, going 7-9, 94 yards, led a touchdown drive, had a nice little touchdown strike himself. But in terms of who's going to be that backup quarterback to Derek Carr, if the team does only keep one QB, these are the type of games that could actually weigh a lot. The final defensive back spots, and I'm just going to throw all the cornerbacks into the mix here. I'm going to throw all the safeties into the mix here. But the first position that I do really want to hit first here on today's show is the cornerback room. Nate Hobbs is that dude. Rocky Ya-Sin's been battling some injuries, but luckily, some good news came out on Wednesday that Trayvon Mullen was activated, and I'm not 100% sure if you're going to see him out on the field. I know if I was Mullen, I wouldn't want to risk anything, but I also know that my job is up for grabs right now because Anthony Averett, yes, he's also been battling some injuries. However, when you look at some of the back players here, Amik Robertson, Sam Webb, Bryce Cosby, Chris Jones, those players are all battling it out for probably the final cornerback spot on that 53-man roster. But not only am I going to watch the corners, I'm going to watch the safeties. The Raiders just traded away Tyree Gillespie for a 2024 7th-round conditional pick. And Abram Merrick, they're locked and loaded. Deron Harmon's locked and loaded into this team. But is the team going to decide to keep potentially 7 corners, which has been a rumor? You keep 7 corners, only 3 safeties? Or do you keep maybe 6 corners and then go with 4 safeties? Because no disrespect to Farley, no disrespect to Paul Mayo, I'm not going to keep those guys over Roderick Teamer, who also gives you some extra special teams ability. So the secondary is really, really going to be a key matchup, especially with a lot of the talent that Miami has at the receiver and even the tight end position. That's if Gesicki plays. All right, y'all, what about this one? The final one here is which running backs are going to play? Because when I sit here and I think about all of the open position battles, running back has been kind of a cluster. Oh, I almost did it, right? It's kind of been that, though. It's been a little bit out of control. Jacobs is a hell of a running back. Zamir White has been a hell of a running back. But last week, the guys that really played, Britton Brown, I believe he went for, off the top of my head, 14 carries, 54 yards, and a touchdown, but he fumbled, which is why I named him a loser. Amir Abdullah didn't play. Brandon Bolden didn't play. Austin Walter, 7 carries, 30 yards. You know Jacob Johnson's going to be your fullback, but for Kenyan Drake, who did get some reps in that game also, I have not been afraid to say that I believe Kenyan Drake is on the trade block right now. The fact that they restructured his contract to look like the way that it does, I think Amir Abdullah has the upper hand on him. So if Las Vegas decides to use some of these backs into the mix, it is an absolute open competition right now to figure out who makes the final running back spot for the depth chart. All right, y'all, so one more time here. If you're a Raiders fan, if you know a Raiders fan out there, I want you to actually take a screenshot of what you're watching right now, post it on Instagram, post it on Twitter. Remember, you can always tag me, tag Chat Sports, because the more you do that, the more this show can grow. And you need to tell them, this is what you should be watching, because I see far too often people are like, dude, it's a preseason game. You're right. But guess what? I'm a real one. And if you're a real one out there, you need to be watching all of this stuff. Why? Because you care about the team, and good NFL teams, playoff caliber teams, Super Bowl caliber teams are deep the entire year. And you need guys to be able to step up. You need to have healthy players. So make sure you're watching all that stuff. Now, I'm getting ready to get out of here. I got to rest up for tomorrow. I got a big day because, like I said, Raider Nation, the Raiders Report is going to kick Dolphins today's you-know-what. I can't wait. So hopefully you guys join me for my live watch party. And if you made it this one, I'm going to expect to see you tomorrow because I know you're a real one.